I would like to go ahead and get started. It is 6:01. And then I see Colleen also jumped on. So hi, Colleen. And I am super excited to introduce you to Kielo from ACCT. And she walked me through the platform a couple months ago. And I think that it could really be a great tool for us if we're able to, get enough people using it and understanding it. So I am happy to turn it all over to you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. And hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for coming along to this. I really appreciate the opportunity and the time to speak to all of you, show you ACCT Connect and how we can best use it to serve your needs as trustees in Michigan. ACCT Connect was really built as a way to connect trustees across the nation together around topics of interest, areas of expertise, to allow you to kind of network with other trustees, learn more about how to be a good trustee, and support each other in the great work that you do. So it has a variety of learning materials, but also a way for you to connect together as a group in Michigan, but also with other people throughout the country. So I thought the best way is really just to show you the platform, kind of walk you through the different areas, what we have on there, what we can do there, and then maybe talk a little bit about what it is that you exactly need and how we can best meet those needs. And I can give you an exclusive sneak peek at something that we've been working on that the rest of the ACCT world won't see until tomorrow at the earliest. So this is ACCT Connect. When you first log in, it'll bring together everything from areas that you're a part of. So a lot like any other social media platforms that you might be used to, but it really is much more than just social media. As I mentioned, there's learning resources. You can have events and connect with each other. There'll be courses that we're building out that'll kind of allow you learning opportunities with mini evaluations along the way. So here at the very beginning, we have some of our featured posts. These are kind of like the important things or things that we want to highlight to the group. So for example, a welcome post. You'll also, when you log in for the very first time, you'll be taken to a special welcome screen. And that will show you some of the legalese as well. So things like, rules of participation and so on. Connect is built for ACCT members. So it is an added benefit to your membership dues. There's no additional cost to it. And it is only for people who are members of ACCT. So you can be confident when you're on here talking to people that you're talking to someone who's also a trustee and who's also an ACCT member. So I'm going to walk you through the different sections of it. You'll see here the posts, and we'll get into what they look like a little bit later. You'll see here on the left, we have different sections. So we're going to start with the welcome checklist. This is really the place where we talk a little bit about what Connect is, how you can use it, and what we hope it becomes. It is a very new project for us, and this kind of community really builds with the people that are using it. So we're looking for feedback from all of our users, see how can we improve it, what do you need, what aspects aren't working for you. That's important to us too, so we can make sure we're providing you with a platform that actually works for you. So you'll see here some of the stuff that I was talking about that we provide on ACCT Connect. So courses, library of information on different topics, a member forum where you can post and have a conversation with other members, groups around dedicated topic areas or for particular associations or states, and events that we're hosting as well. You'll see a little bit about what you can expect from us, which are exclusive resources, this kind of ACCT only community, places where we'll be sharing information, stories, things that are coming out. And then here are some tips and hints on how to make it a little bit more personable for you. So how to add your photo, how to adjust notifications. You can make notifications to whatever suits you. So I know some platforms will notify you and you'll get an email. It feels like every 10 minutes. With Connect, you can really dictate how you want to get those notifications and at what interval you want them to, right down to what kind of notifications you want. So say you make a post and someone comments on that post, you want to be notified, but you don't necessarily want to be notified if someone likes the post. So you can really kind of get down to that level of preference in terms of your notifications. And I can show you where to do that a little later, but it's all here as well. So you have posts. You can download an app onto your phone as well to make it a little bit easier when you're on the go. And then again, some kind of rules of expectations that we have from you on ACCT Connect. It's about sharing expertise. It's about sharing stories and issues that you're facing as a trustee. It is not a platform for sales. We do expect everyone to be respectful and professional on the platform. We will be looking for anyone who is, any kind of discrimination, online bullying. We will not tolerate that at all. So we do have the ability to edit and remove posts and remove people if someone is being disruptive to the platform. Not something I ever expect from this particular group, but you never know. So just want everyone to feel comfortable that we do have that in place as well. So we won't be allowing any kind of negative behavior on our platform. Now here we have, and by the way, if anyone has any questions throughout, feel free to just come off of mute and ask, raise your hand, whatever. We'll keep this fairly informal.
Yeah, well, I am so sorry. I should have asked you this at the very beginning, but how do people get here if they're not signed up yet?
That's a great question. So what I will do is I will put the link in the chat for everyone.
Perfect. And I'll make sure to email that out as well at the end of this.
Right. And most of you should have received an invitation a few months ago, but it's so easy for those things to get lost in all the other emails that come in. So we can easily send you an invitation, or if you go to that link, you'll be asked to create an account and request access. That request then comes to me, and I will double check our database system to make sure you're a member, double check with Ashley if necessary, and then we'll allow you onto the platform. So here on the member forum, we have some of the most recent activity and things that are relevant to you. So these are things like we have a little message here from Jihang welcoming everyone to the platform and just activity that's going on. So this is the member forum that I mentioned earlier where all of you can connect as well. So earlier today, we had a lottery draw. So we've been currently running a program for free board retreats, 20 a year for the next 3 years. So this is year 2. And we had our lottery draw earlier today. So I don't know if any of you were able to join. Unfortunately, no winners from Michigan this year. I double checked to make sure before joining, but hopefully next year. So there is one more opportunity. And I think early to mid-spring, I think the invitation goes out to apply. But you can see here, we recorded the event and we've posted it here on Connect for everyone so that they can watch the draw live if they missed it, if they want to see their school get noticed. So
I love your drawing machine back there with Jihang. That's amazing.
So we did have all of that. And then down here, we've listed all the winners as well. And one thing you can do with Connect as well is you can tag individuals. So for example, you'll see that Teresa Felder here is highlighted in blue. So that means that when I added her, it automatically notifies her that she was tagged in a post. So it's just a way to kind of make sure that she's aware that we've posted this and added her. For you, this comes in really handy when you have a question for someone and you know, for example, that Ashley would be a great person to answer this question. You want to make sure she sees it. So you can easily mention her in the post and she'll get a direct notification then that she's been mentioned and to go in and check the platform. And I'll show you how to do that as well. It's really straightforward. So you'll see here we have all the winners and we've tagged the people that are on the platform. You can like posts and you can also comment. So you can, for example, if I want to, make sure Ashley sees this, can @signal and then start typing her name. And it shows up there. And it has all the kind of standards that you, abilities that you would expect in a post. So you can add images, you can add GIFs, hashtags if you want to, emojis. I'm not going to post this because this is the live site. So I'm just going to remove that, but it's a way to kind of show you what you can do and how you can interact with these posts. So we're going to make that smaller again. We can close that here. And so we posted all of our winners as an exclusive on Connect first. And we're trying to do more of that. So really using Connect as a way to give an exclusive benefit to our members before the wider public sees anything. So all of this will have been posted on the public website as well that you're probably used to, but anyone on Connect saw it first. We're also posting things about other projects that we have on, other webinars that we're doing across the association. So for example, we have some work we're doing with Head Start programs. So there's an article here on that, and there's a webinar coming up as well. And just general kind of news about ACCT. We revamped the website. Let's see, and then here, I think this is the upcoming webinar. That's actually tomorrow. So if any of you are free, you can click on the link here. Click on continue. And you've got the register link down here as well if you want to register for that webinar. So we also have a section on how to use the resources on ACCT Connect. You'll see here on the left that we have several sections in the boardroom and on campus. And this is our resource library. And it's split up into these different areas that we're really trying to help you find learning material based on a topic or interest area for you. So we don't have everything built out yet, but we are adding material constantly to the platform. Just yesterday, I got a whole bunch of material on diversity, equity, and inclusion that I'll be adding over the next few days. But one thing that I want to show first is this Governance 101. So this is actually an online course. It's a series of videos done by Mary Spildy, who's one of our consultants. It walks you through how to be a trustee. So what is good governance, board roles and responsibilities, and so on. And the way it's set up is you have to go through each lesson one by one. You can't open the next one until you've done the prior one. So it really forces you to kind of watch it in series. And there are reflection questions posted throughout as well. So we can take a look at one. None of the videos are longer than I think 7 minutes. So they're all really bite-sized content that you can easily absorb while you're doing other things, or you have a few minutes within your busy day. And then you can just go on from one to the next. There's a PowerPoint slide that goes with it to accompany it. And as I mentioned, reflection questions and a worksheet that you can work through as well. So some of our boards have been using this in their board meetings. So 1 month they'll take, lessons 1 and 2, the introductory section. The next time they'll take module 1 and they kind of go through it all together. So they allocate a little bit of time with each of their meetings to kind of go through one of the sections of it, and they're all learning together. So everyone will automatically have access to this. Again, this is, things around. Can you still see my screen? No.
It's showing like the Zoom page.
Sorry about that. My mouse got a little out of control. There we go.
We're back. Thank you.
Perfect. So all of these material is available on ACCT Connect, and you automatically have access to it. So I mentioned the other sections. We've got new trustees. So if you are a new trustee, you have the governance course, but you also have this content here. And like I said, we're constantly adding material that we find. So for example, you can look here, what trustees and presidents need to know about risk management. And this is actually a podcast from our In the Know podcast. So you can click on the link, it'll take you to the podcast and you can listen and kind of absorb what they've been talking about. You'll see it's also tagged with the hashtag podcast. All of our resources are tagged in that way so that you can go up here to resources by type and search for a particular type of resource. So if you're interested, you're doing a presentation, for example, and you want to see if there are any slides that we have that you could include, you can search by slides. Now, we don't have anything in the new trustee space, but if we remove this filter here, you'll see that we do have some in some of our other library areas. So it'll always tell you here what section the resource is in. So here we have some slides on unconscious bias, stereotypes, and microaggressions in the diversity, equity, and inclusion group. So you can access them from here as well. And you can use these slides in whatever way works best for you and for your presentation. All of the material here is meant to kind of support you in your work, either individually or as part of your board. We also have a section on campus, and these are topic areas that you might find on campus that we find that a lot of trustees are having questions about or issues with, like diversity, equity, and inclusion. We all know how important that is these days. We also have a section for rural institutions, technology and innovation, workforce development. As I mentioned, we don't have resources in all of them just yet, but we are constantly working to build it. And with that, we need your help as well. So if you have any resources in any of these areas that you think would be really beneficial, you can share them with us. You can email me. I'll make sure you have my email address, and we'll get them added for you to the platform. And it's just a way of kind of sharing with the community the great work that you're doing and what you've been learning outside, and kind of sharing it with a wider trustee group. We have a section on policy and advocacy, which our policy team mainly runs. We're still very much building that out, so there isn't a huge amount of material there yet. And then we have groups. Now with the groups, the way our platform works is we have 3 different kinds of groups. We have public groups, which anyone can access. And that's what all of these are. These are all public groups. We have private groups that you can see are there, but you have to request permission to join. And we have secret groups. Secret groups are only visible if you're a member of that group. So for example, this test group here, none of you will see this when you join the platform, because this is a secret group that only I have access to. And I use it for testing new functionality, making sure things are going to look the way I want them to look before we launch them, and so on. We're using this for different stakeholder groups and also different state association groups. So we do have one for the Michigan Association, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And we also have for some of our other groups, the ACCT consultants, our professional board staff, and for example, our under 45 caucus. So these are all special groups that most of them you won't see when you get on the platform because you're not a part of. You will see the Michigan one once we add you and we start using that group. Oh, hi, Brandy. I'm glad you could join us. So we'll look a little bit into the Michigan group. We're still building this out, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk today, is to see what information you would like on this group. The idea is it would be all Michigan trustees, who are also ACCT members, of course, would have access to this group, and you can discuss Michigan issues. We're aware that each state has its own regulations and rules and policies, so we want to make sure that states have a place where they can discuss issues relevant to their state that other trustees probably wouldn't be interested in. So the member forum section is for everybody. So you'll have trustees from Alaska, trustees from Illinois, etc. But this would be just for Michigan. So if you do have a specific issue within your state that you want to discuss, this would be the place to do so. So you can see here that I actually added a link to the event, the summer conference that took place in July. And then we have a resource and training section that we're going to build out with different resources and materials that are relevant to you and that will help you in the work that you're doing, that Ashley and co will help us provide and put up there. What I wanted to show you is kind of how one of these groups will work. And this is an exclusive sneak peek. This group won't actually be available to everybody until tomorrow, mid-morning, afternoon. So how many on this call are going to be at Congress in a few weeks? Okay, I'm seeing some hands up. Great. We have created a group specifically for people who are going to Congress. So this will only be for people who have registered. And it's a place where we'll be sharing a lot of material and also ways for you to connect with other participants. So for example, we have the question, what are you looking forward to most about Congress? Personally, I'm looking forward to finally getting to meet people face to face. I've been with ACCT for about 4 months now. So this will be my first real opportunity to meet some of our members face to face, and I'm really excited about it. So this group is dedicated just for Congress. And you'll see we have the schedule at a glance. As we get the more detailed schedule on the actual program, it will be posted here on Connect first. So if you want to know when the particular sessions you're interested in are going to be time slotted where they are, it's going to be posted here on Connect before anywhere else. The Resource Center, we've got a bunch of information about Congress, hotel information. So if you're staying at the Aria or one of the other hotels, we're going to have that session information. We've taken a lot of information for the Senate and the regional caucuses. There's a typo there. So all of the information that you need for these particular events, if you want to see who the candidates are, for example, they've all been listed out here. So you're able to kind of read their profiles, their bios, figure out in advance kind of who you're looking to vote for and so on. And all of that information is posted here and organized by region. We also have all the campaign regulations to make sure that everyone who is standing for election is following the correct regulations and to make sure that we're following them as well. As well as all the information for the individual regional caucuses as well. So those are going to be Tuesday, 2 to 3:30. I think that's an exclusive as well that hasn't been announced. And all the information, the agendas and the procedures for all of the regional caucus meetings as well. Got information on our sponsors, our speakers. So as we get more speakers announced, they'll be listed here as well. And I still need to build this out, but all of the award winners. So all of our regional award winners that have been announced already will be listed here. And then, of course, they get nominated for the association awards. And once those winners have been announced at the gala, will be added here as well. So the idea here is to provide as much content material as possible for people going to Congress to really be able to plan in advance, get the information they need to in one specific spot without trying to look at 3 or 4 different websites. We're constantly going to be adding to this. So as the session material comes out, it'll be posted here along with any other details. So a map of the conference room floors as well, what all the different conference rooms are, information about the marketplace, all that's going to be posted on here as it gets released. We also then have the bulletin board, which is where I was at the beginning. And this is where anyone can post and you can meet with other people. Say you met someone at Congress 3 years ago and you're hoping to meet up with them again, you can post that here and kind of say, hey, I met you 3 years ago. I'd love to kind of reconnect. Where can we meet? And you can kind of start the discussion here. If you want to have a meetup with people of specific interest of yours, say you've got tickets to a show one evening, you want to see if someone else is going as well, you can do all of that here on this kind of virtual bulletin board. So the idea very much being about bringing people together virtually for Congress beforehand and during the event as well. So during the event, the program will have particular prompts as well on things that you can do on Connect to help engage you with the platform and see everything that's there. So that's a little bit about what we're doing with this particular group. Everyone's going to be invited, like I mentioned, later tomorrow, once we finish the last few things. And we're hoping people will really kind of see the benefit in having all the material here. If there's anything that we're missing, we really want to know because we want to add that here. So please do let me know if you think anything is missing, if anything would be particularly helpful. We can make sure we get that added here or in any of these other groups, and in particular in your Michigan group. The only other thing I will mention is, we saw a little bit of it here in this group with the events. You can host events directly on Connect. So you can link up your Zoom account, for example, or your Teams account, or whatever platform you use with Connect. And so you can set up a meeting here. For example, the Under 45 caucus, they're presenting a session at Congress. And so they're using that group to meet, to share notes, and to prepare their presentation. Instead of having emails going back and forth, everything is in the one place for them. So that's another way that you can use the platform, and you can use the event functionality that comes with ACCT Connect to kind of make that a little bit easier for you. You can also send direct messages to people if you want to. So if you do want to have a conversation, say with Ashley without anyone else kind of knowing. So you don't want to post in the main feed. You can add a chat and you can just search for Ashley. And then start a chat with her. And she'll then get a notification and it'll show up here in the little speech bubbles that she has a new conversation. This is your notification bell. You'll see I have quite a few unread ones that I have looked at them. So it's not that I'm just ignoring that aspect of my work. I just haven't gone through them particularly, but you can just mark all as read or unread as you need to. You can also change how you're notified. So as I mentioned at the beginning, you can really select exactly what you want and what you don't want. Because of the nature of my work, I have everything as activity happens. So as soon as something gets posted, I'm alerted. And that's really just so that I can make sure people are getting responses as quickly as possible to any questions they have. And in the extremely rare chance that someone posts something they shouldn't, I can react quickly to it. Most people at Daily Digest might be better for your work. That's one email at the end of the day that kind of posts everything that's happened that day. And here you can really select what kinds of notifications you want. And you can even manage and set it differently for different groups. So say you want notifications from Congress, but you don't want notifications about accreditation, you can easily change that. So there's a lot of flexibility that you have within the platform with your notifications, with the intention being that we're informing you, but not overwhelming you either. We want you to know what's going on. We don't want you to feel annoyed by too many emails and too many notifications about things that aren't directly of interest to you. So those are kind of the biggest aspects of Connect. And I know I've been talking for quite a bit. I was wondering if there are any questions or if we want to talk a little bit about how can we make the Michigan group a great place for all of you.
Thank you so much for the overview. I feel like every time I go through it, I learn something different. I really appreciate the fact that, how can we make this work a little bit better for Michigan? But as Kielo had mentioned, were there any questions before we kind of get into that part of the conversation?
I'm curious as to how this ever came to be, because it sounds like an excellent venue for all of us.
That's a great question. So the conversations happened a little bit before I joined. My role was created largely to kind of manage ACCT Connect along with other things. I think it came from Jihang and the board realizing that there is a need for trustees to have a space to connect with each other outside of the two main in-person events that we have each year. Particularly in a world that is more and more digital every day, having a way that you can connect easily. And it also really fits in with our mission about education for our trustees. It's a great way for us to provide all of you with content that can help you do your jobs even better than you're already doing them. So that you have that material, you have that connection with us, and you have that connection with each other as well. We talked a lot about how we can have a group from Michigan specific things, but there are problems that trustees face that are common that every state is going to have. You might have an issue that someone in Idaho has dealt with recently and you don't know about it and you can't reach out to them, but posting on here, you can connect with them and get insights and views that you never would have thought could exist beforehand. And so I think it really is the vision of Jihang and the board to have this kind of platform that allows all of you to connect in that way and allows us to make sure we're providing all of you with the kind of the information and the education that our mission says we should be providing as part of your membership.
Thank you.
I was actually wondering that myself, so thank you for asking. And then I'm sure that there will be some other questions that come up as we continue to learn the platform and use it. But in terms of, helping selfishly me make sure I can curate information that is useful for trustees or things that you'd like to see in there, I'd be very interested to hear any of your feedback. And again, if it comes to you after this webinar, feel free to email me or tag me in a post as well. I think once we actually kind of get in there and using it a little more, probably we'll have some more feedback. Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Proctor.
Yes. How long has this been operational, and to what extent has it been used by trustees?
That's a great question. We invited everybody that we have in our membership database at the beginning of the summer, so early June, with the idea being that we know summer can be a little bit of a quieter time. It allows us to iron out some of the wrinkles that we might have found in getting people on board. It's still very much being launched out, so we are constantly finding ways to increase participation and increase activity from trustees. At the moment, a lot of it is us speaking to all of our trustees, and we really are trying to build out that the trustees are using it to speak to us and to speak to each other as well. So that's something that we're really working on at the moment, and we're hoping, particularly with Congress, getting the information out about Connect a little bit more, helping people use it, will really help us get that trustee engagement up on the platform.
Thank you. To the extent that you've had some trustees involved, have you been able to identify any particular areas in which trustees have a noted interest?
Yes, so the Governance 101 course has been very popular, and we're definitely hearing a lot that people would like more of that kind of content. So more of those kinds of courses that are quick videos, along with workshop materials and so on. And the platform now has new functionality where you can add in quizzes as well, so you can kind of test your own understanding of the material before you move on to the next section. So we're hearing a lot about people are really enjoying that. They're also really enjoying a lot of the resources that we have. So for example, on diversity, equity, and inclusion, we are hearing that they would like to see more about policy and the policy work that our team is doing. So we're looking at building that up a little bit more. And we are really kind of taking in all the feedback that we can get from everybody.
Anything on a trustee's fiduciary responsibility?
Not that I've heard of. We do have some material there already, but I think we could always do with getting more material. Let me see what we have. So actually that is an empty space for us at the moment. So definitely something that we would want to start adding content to.
Thank
So
you.
if you do have anything in mind, please let me know. Feel free to send it to me and we can add it.
Sure.
Some good questions and feedback. I know that we
careful, Mary Kay's going to give you another job. You're writing right now.
Well, were there any other kind of questions or feedback before we kind of wrap up this evening?
Just Ashley, could we have maybe an update in a few weeks after we play with this and see? I think that's when the questions will come.
Yeah, absolutely. I put it on my calendar to start using this a little bit more, to post just kind of random things in there too. And then Kielo, I'm not sure if you're able to provide this, but do you have could you maybe like see how many, or excuse me, let me know how many Michigan trustees we have, and then I can also try and get some more folks on the platform as well.
Sure, I should be able to pull that for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time this evening. We really appreciate that.
Of course, my pleasure. I put my contact details in the chat for you, so you can reach me at my email address. I know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. The surname's a little bit complicated. So you can also reach me at connect@acct.org. I manage both of those accounts, so you can easily reach me there, or you can send me a message on the platform. So any of those options work. So thank you so much for your time this evening. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the great questions. And I'm looking forward to hearing more from you all in a couple of weeks.
See you soon.
And yes, see
Thank
you
you so
soon
much.
at Congress.
Yeah, see you very soon.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Kelia.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ashley.
Thanks. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much, you guys.